Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Phillips, and thank you so much, Mr. Solomon. And I'll be talking about the effective strategies to cope with cybercrime and in era of COVID-19 on business in Africa. And if we may, we could say it is post-COVID, right? Some countries are still in COVID. Luckily, I think we are in the post-COVID phase, right? We've talked, I've talked about myself. There's no reason to talk about myself again. So let me just give out some statistics, right? So that we know where we are going, and how we can come out from it. So effective strategies means that it's supposed to be high level, right? We are supposed to discuss practical things, ways in which we can survive cybercrime in the environment, the cybersecurity landscape we find ourselves. So according to statistics, cyber attacks has been rated the 5th top rated risk in 2020 across public and private sectors. And you can try to imagine that the risk managers amongst us will understand there are so many risks that organizations face. And for cybercrime to come as the 5th top rated, considering regulatory risk, considering financial risk, considering operational risk, considering so many other important risks that has been years and long years before. Cybercrime has gone from like 14th rated risk to 5th top rated risk just in 2020. And this is because of sorry, pardon me. And this is because of so many reasons, right? The COVID-19 has changed a lot of things, which include the way we work, the leisure, so many things. Many people now spend more time online, right? Even personally and experience, I found myself spending more time researching now, because we've been forced within that period of 6-7 months during the COVID-19 period inside to just discover ourselves. According to a widely accepted estimate also, cybercrime cost about $500 billion just within 2018 and 2020. Right. These are other global trends and happenings. Just within 2019, some organizations became unicorns. Who knew to Zoom in 2017, 2018? But because there was a need for collaboration, there was a need for connection with your staff during COVID-19 period, these organizations, Zoom, organizations like Pega, Zoom had about 200 million. That's about 535% increase just within 2019 and 2020, pre-COVID, December 2019 and the end of December 2020. Mobile money. Then, according to statistics, again, that's the VMware analytics, the work from home increased about 70%, right? And with all this positive increase in organizations scaling, becoming big, like Zoom, merchants like Paga increasing their users by 200%, working from home increased by 70%. Most of the attacks now were COVID-19 themed, right? FQDN, that's fully qualified domain names, were now classified as high risk. For data breaches just in South African banks, 1.7 million. You can just go through all these statistics. So many things were positive as a result of COVID-19, right? But there were still so many things. Attacked increased. 148% increase in ransomware attacks. You can just imagine what that is. Just between February 2020 and March 2020. It's just unbelievable. This is just to give you an understanding of where we are. What is the risk that we are currently seeking on? And this thing is not going to go off anytime soon, right? Daily COVID-19 related phishing emails is still constantly happening. Some people just tell you, send you want something regarding trying to get COVID-19, your clearance. I recently got one just yesterday night. You click it, you download packets into your system, phishing packets into your system. That's the scenario that we found ourselves. So these are just important points to understand, that things are changing dynamically at a fast rate around us. And a wise man once said, I think that is Alvin Toffler, that the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those that cannot read or write, but those that cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Meaning, in the situation we find ourselves, we have to be adaptable. The complexities of being socially distanced are deeper than we often imagine. People are getting depressed by the moment. People are trying to find as any possible way to make money online. So we have to develop our adaptive response, and that could be fragile in any way. We have to design and engineer systems that will have a direct impact on the fluidity of our response, and the rate and sophistication of our cyber attacks as heightened with increased digital interaction. Those are the situations we find ourselves, right? This is another statistics 2020, just within 2020. You can imagine things that are happening every 11 seconds in 20. And the projections, even though this is pessimistic, the projection is that a business will be attacked by ransomware every 11 seconds. In the US now, it is just mind-blowing. 20 billion global cost of ransomware. Those are crimes. Those are things that there's even cyber, even some countries are involved in cyber terrorism. Some countries are involved in cyber warfare just to get people's data, exploit people's data, carry out identity theft, and just cause major havoc to people's economy and to countries' economy and individual personalities. So now to the core and to the bane of what we want to discuss about the effective strategies. These are going to be high level, right? And thankfully, previous speakers, Mr. Phillips, Mr. Solomon, talked so much on the importance of people when it comes to security awareness, right? It is just amongst the people, process, and technology. People is the most important, is the weakest link that you like often said, and people are the strongest link. Obviously, you cannot be a profitable organization without your people, and the same people can be what will bring the organization down. So it's a two-ended way situation. So number one strategy, and this is just to create an enterprise strategy to prevent cybercrime. Get your foundation right. Focus on your people, right from your physical and from your physical security, from your access control. Carry out constant employee security training and awareness, right? I don't want to belabor this because Mr. Phillips and Mr. Solomon has talked about it. Now, they have a basic antivirus. Even antiviruses are not even sufficient as it were now, right? It's people are migrating into EDRs that carry out endpoint detection and constant and proactive response for you. That's where the world is actually going now. Carrying out things, being proactive, like security orchestration, automation, and response system. That's what the world is moving to now. Then backups. These things is that we need to understand that security can never be 100%. It's just impossible, because countries, people, cyber threats are increasing daily. They are sophisticated. Most organizations cannot even afford the level of sophistication that these people are. But when we get our foundation right, the foundation of having all apparatus in confidentiality, integrity, the 3 tenets, availability, we can always get things right. And that's why backups come in. If you are attacked, do you have something to fall in? Do you have a secure data center? Can you confirm that the backup routines are actively deployed? Can you confirm that the backups can be effectively restored? Those are things that are important to create foundation for your security system. Firewalls and network access control, those are things to access control is actually the entrance. It's like your gate. If your gate is open wide, and perimeter security, even though people are saying it's a cake now, it is something that will always be your foundation. It's just like opening your door down and saying that you are secured. When you do not lock it, you just open it down. Those are what things, those are foundations to create for ourselves. So secondly, strategy two, that is our layered approach in securing an enterprise, right? And this is very much important to me as we progress in cybersecurity. And because I'm someone that carry out a lot of research, I found out that because you can't be 100% in one layer of security. You have to do what we discuss as defense in depth. It addresses security vulnerability in all personnel, technology, operation, the process for all the life cycle. We all know about the OSI layers. If what I do in organizations that I work with is just to identify, okay, what are there is a basic OSI layer that we can follow: application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link, and all those physical aspects. Making sure there is a security control in every layer, so that, okay, if I'm attacked in my physical access, I'm not attacked in my network access. Before you can get access to my transport, my application layer is effectively secure. Those are things that we just have to do now, especially as financial institutions, because and this is just so apparent as we go about, because financial institutions deal with money. Everybody needs money. Everybody wants money. The economic situation of countries, even especially Nigeria, make people want to get money at all costs. And we are in an open source environment. The internet is open source. You can learn anything on YouTube as it is now. Just go to YouTube and type how to hack Finacool, how to hack FlexCube. Trust me, a lot of things will come out, step-by-step process in how to hack all those things. But when you have a defense in-depth, a layered approach system, it gets things done. It gets more secured as it were. And this is what it's all about: a zero trust architecture. That's defense in-depth. You are secured in every aspect of your data plane, your control plane, every aspect. You have effective policy engines. You are following all the OWASP top 10 security when it comes to application security. Those are the things that help us to get secured. And strategy three, and for this, the third strategy I would like to discuss, this one more very important thing that I researched upon, and because of my what do you call it, my postgraduate studies and on key principles to unlocking value, right? Identity management systems. We just have to emphasize on that. And that's why, as much as people criticize the government, there are some things that if we get right, like, for example, this NIN, National Identification Numbers that you do, these things, if we can get the total number of Nigerians, if you can identify everybody, trust me, we can curb security, a cybercrime in its entirety, at least 80%. Look at countries like United States. They work on the principle of social security numbers. If you like, steal money from one person today, as long as they can identify you with your security, your social security number, they can identify, they can curb cybercrime, they can detect who you are, they can get you at any time. That's how important these things are. Let's focus on identity management systems. As organizations, that's for country aspect. As organizations scale, maybe in your 3rd and 5th year of cybersecurity transformation programs, make sure you have an identity. And as the organization scale, make sure you have an identity and management system. This is going to help you to curb security as a whole. Another thing is the appropriate and effective design by being context appropriate. All organizations are different, right? We need to be contextual when it comes to security. You cannot apply all principles on security. You have to be contextual, especially implementing new novel trends that are happening now. IoT, if you go and research on IoT, is one of the most unsecured architecture. And that is what is going to be reigning now, right? Because you just want to have everything at your hand. You want to be able to carry out things easily. You want to be able to control your house from your office. But you know what that causes? It causes a single point of failure. Once an attack you, I get access to everything you own. But organization, more novel trends. Like we cannot just overestimate the importance of blockchain. If we get the principles of this blockchain helping us to ensure integrity of the entire system, helping us to prioritize end users' needs, and so many other things like that, and this will always help us. And finally, for this part, is just to build and sustain trust by leveraging on legal and operational foundation of trust and accountability. And that's where all these policies and frameworks come in. NDPR, GDPR, those things, if we well implemented, we are ensured that we are compliant with all these frameworks. Trust me, we can at least mitigate about 60% of PII exposures. That's the personal identifiable information exposures. So this is one of that. This is to bring everything together that we've been discussing so far. Security automation to scale, and these are strategies that we can do. Build a SOC. See, people say SOCs are a waste of money. At least, even if you don't have a SOC, make sure you engage MSSPs, because information attacks are always constantly happening. How many people will you employ to resolve all this? Have an EDR, get a SIM, engage cloud security to ensure availability. Cloud security can help you with the unknown. 91% agree that utilizing cloud security helps you increase visibility into your network. When you are still dependent, I know most organizations are still dependent on on-premise systems, right? But gradually, for our CISOs that are here and security professionals, gradually transit into cloud. Because everything has its own merit and demerit. I understand the part that you can easily isolate when it comes to on-prem, but trust me, cloud security is the way to go. So this is just to give cybersecurity approach. And this is one thing that I developed during my research, and that is do a threat risk assessment, understand the current state and capability maturity assessment that you are currently. There are different frameworks you can use. Free, the NIST, and that one is even a government framework that once you get these things right, identify, go do your threat and risk assessment, carry out your gap analysis. Now, you've identified where you are. Now, where do we want to be as an organization? Those are strategies that we just have to bring in place. I won't bore you with technicalities of this, right? But we need to understand this high-level understanding of get your future state vision and desired capabilities, prioritize your strategic options, get your roadmaps, and obviously you can't do anything. I'm so glad that CEOs, C-level executives, CFOs are already understanding the importance of getting security in your infrastructure. Can never be overemphasized. And this is one thing I developed, so you can just go through it. I won't belabor this. If you want to carry out a cyber transformation program in your organization, typically a cybersecurity transformation program should take about 5 years, because cybersecurity is progressive. And the first 3 years is supposed to be to establish your foundational capabilities. And the objective of the next 2 years after that 3 years is to deliver enhanced automated security solutions. It's really not about buying tools, buying security solution as it were. Get where you are. Create the processes. Equip with the right people. Create the foundation. Establish cyber defense center. Get constant vulnerability management. Ensure you constantly do your cyber security awareness. Have a SIM implemented at the basics. Then you can now progress to other aspects like getting privileged access management, you advanced capabilities of implementing secure web gateways and other things like that. And this is something very important to me, to implementing a strategic institution-wide approach to cybersecurity. All these aspects are very important when we have to carry out the transformation strategy for cybersecurity. The human factor, the leadership and governance. This is the most important. Leadership and governance. You have to have your top management buy-in. If your CEO does not support your cybersecurity transformation strategy program, you are failed from the beginning, because nothing is going to work. No funds, no budgeting will happen. Human factors, information risk management, operations and technology, legal and compliance. You can see how important cybersecurity is connected in all these facets of a business. And finally, this is one part that is actually my expertise, and one thing I've always tried to promote. Actionable threat intelligence is the key to managing evolving cyber threats. Threat intelligence, and that's why I always ask, and that's why I'm so excited about this summit. Opportunity to exchange ideas. Do you know what I just learned from Mr. Philip and Mr. Solomon on this cyber threat? The fact that we can even classify people into different aspects, the malicious ones, people that are just negligent. You'll be able to even classify these people and tackle them as it were. That is what threat intelligence does for you. Do you have acquire external threat information? Make sure you're in constant contact with and that's where our network, a cyber security network, is very important. Get people understanding where we are, the challenges that you face. Share IOCs, indicator of compromises. It could just be some ashes. It could just be some IPs that are malicious. Share it. Get it into your SIM, get it into your EDR, block it there, actively prevent things, be proactive. In the situation, in a financial system, we cannot be reactive. We need to be proactive. And that's where actionable threat intelligence comes in. Real-time detection of incidents and fraudulent transactions. And that helps us, like, it requires correlation of information and from various data sources. You cannot be depending on just one. And that's why I'm still always going to emphasize that collaboration is important. And finally, thank you. So much I would have loved to say, but I think I have just 20 minutes. But this is a very wonderful discourse that I would just want to leave us with and to get us thinking on how to solve our issues. Thank you very much.